The sky of Varelia burned crimson as twin suns dipped below the mountainous horizon. Smoke curled up from shattered trees and scorched stone. The aftermath of a skirmish between the invading humans and the proud Drakari forces littered the battlefield. Captain Ilara Vethar of the Drakari Confederacy stood rigid amidst the ruins. Her once sleek armor was dented and stained with soot, her obsidian-black skin marred by small cuts. But her golden eyes were alight with rage. She was the last daughter of House Vethar, warrior bonded to the apex predator of her world, a void-scale dragon named Caryx. The humans had come in metallic vessels, bearing flags of peace and weapons of war. And now they had crossed the line. She stormed across the ravaged canyon, her boots crunching on ash and debris. She followed the trail of deep claw marks and burnt soil. Caryx had fought fiercely, but had been wounded. She had felt it through their symbiosis. When she reached the cliffs above the human encampment, her heart stilled. There, sitting by a low fire, was a human male. Lean, unarmored, sun-tanned. His chest plate was off, revealing worn fatigues. His weapon, a mere sidearm, lay discarded beside him. But none of that mattered. What mattered was the massive, obsidian-scaled form lying curled beside him. Caryx, her dragon, leaping, unshackled. 3 days earlier, Captain Rin Calder wasn't supposed to be here. Originally assigned to diplomatic escort duty, his dropship had been struck by Drakari interceptors and crash-landed during the chaos of a surprise ambush. His squad had died on impact. Now, alone, wounded, and deep in hostile territory, he'd stumbled into the canyon to hide, and nearly died when a dragon slammed into the earth not 20 feet from him. At first, he'd thought it was attacking. But then he saw the gashes across its wings. Plasma burns. A blade embedded near its neck. And eyes. Not feral but pained. Rin didn't run. He'd fought in jungles and deserts, faced everything from pirates to alien beasts. And if there was one thing he'd learned, it was that pain spoke the same language across species. So he approached slowly, arms up. Words soft. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you," growled. He sat down. Over the next day, he cleaned the dragon's wounds with supplies scavenged from his wreckage. He talked to it out of habit, mostly like it could understand. Offered it food. Covered it from the cold at night. It had watched him closely, with reptilian eyes the size of his head. And when he finally managed to dislodge the blade from its hide, it didn't bite him. Instead, it nudged him with its massive horned head. Like a grateful dog. That's when he realized something incredible. This beast wasn't just sentient, it was bonded. Intelligent. A creature of war and soul-bound loyalty. Yet here it was, unbound, and choosing to stay. Ilara dropped from the cliff in a silent glide, her boots slamming into the ground. The human rose halfway, arms wide in a non-threatening gesture. "I didn't know anyone was looking for him," he said calmly. Her golden eyes narrowed. "You have no idea what you're doing, human." "I disagree." Cleaned his wounds. Fed him. Didn't tie him down. He stayed. "That dragon is my blood bond," she hissed. "You shouldn't be alive." At her voice, Caryx stirred. The dragon's pupil-slit eyes opened slowly and locked onto her. A low rumble vibrated the earth. The dragon stood. Rin stepped back, tense, but the dragon did not attack. Instead, Caryx approached Ilara with something like hesitance. She reached forward, whispering an ancient word that should have reignited their psychic bond. "Nothing." "No," she breathed. Caryx turned his massive head, back toward the human, and rumbled low. Affectionately. Ilara's world tilted. "What did you do to him?" she snapped. "I didn't do anything," Rin replied. "He chose. That's not possible. We're soul-bound by right and fire." "Maybe that bond broke when you treated him like a weapon," Rin said quietly. She stepped forward, fists clenched. "I bled beside him. I carried his egg from the Scorch Vale. You don't understand our ways." "I don't," Rin admitted. "But I know respect. I know loyalty given, not demanded." That night, the fire between them was silent. Ilara remained because Carrick's remained, and her training wouldn't let her leave him undefended. She observed the human carefully. He was not boastful. He didn't touch Carrick's unless the dragon invited it. He fed the dragon scraps before himself. He spoke to him like an equal. She hated how familiar it looked. Carrick's had curled around the human protectively. It should have been her. The second night. "You know," Ilara said, her voice like a blade unsheathed in the dark. "Dragons are not tamed." "I didn't tame him," Rin said. "I healed him." Silence stretched between them. Ilara's jaw tightened. "He chose me when he hatched. I spent decades raising him, training, fighting. We merged minds in the crucible of flame." "And yet," Rin said softly, "when he was dying you weren't there." That struck harder than any plasma bolt. She looked away. "I was leading the charge," she whispered. "Command placed me at the front. I thought he was behind me. I didn't know he fell." The guilt cracked her voice. Rin didn't press further. Carrick snorted softly in his sleep and pressed his massive head against Rin's back. On the third day, Drakari scouts arrived. They hovered above the canyon in sleek flyers, scanning. Lara stood. "You should run. I'm not leaving him." She gave him a long look, then activated her calm. "Stand down," she told the incoming craft. "The dragon is injured. I'm extracting him myself." There was a pause. "Understood, Captain." She looked back at Rin. "You'll come with us. I doubt your generals want me alive. I didn't say they'd welcome you. But Carrick's won't go without you now. So unless you want to live in a canyon forever." Rin smirked. "Guess I'm hitching a ride." Return to Verelian's stronghold. The High Council chamber was carved from blackstone, the air heavy with incense and authority. Ilara stood before them, armor polished, shoulders squared. Carrick sat behind her like a shadowed mountain, silent, watching. And beside him, standing with quiet calm, was the human. "Explain yourself, Captain," said Grand Strategist Morven. "Why does a human walk beside your soul-bound beast?" "He saved Carrick's," she said flatly. "And," Morven sneered, "you expect us to believe a feral outsider tamed your bonded beast with compassion?" "I do not expect belief," Ilara replied. "Only results." He turned. "Carrick's, come." The dragon remained still. Morven smirked. Ilara stepped aside. "Rin." The human approached. Carrick's head lowered, wings rippling like midnight silk. He chuffed and pressed his snout into the human's chest. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Morven stood. "This is a breach of sacred law." "No," Ilara said, her voice low. "This is evolution." She turned to Rin. "In our culture, bond is everything. The fact that Carrick's chose you makes you his equal. His rider." Rin blinked. "I don't even have a saddle." "Then we'll make one," she said with a rare smile. Weeks later, the skies above Verelia roared with new song. A dragon flew, Carrick's. His wings stretched wide, slicing through clouds like a god reborn. Atop him rode two figures. Ilara in her crimson battle gear. And behind her, arms steady around her waist, was the human. Still think I tamed him? Rin shouted over the wind.